Hello there, you clicked on this video so you already know what it's about. It is my review for Like a Boss. Like I've said in my other videos, this is another January watch that I'm only just getting around to reviewing. My god. I got to a point where I had forgotten half the movies that I had watched and went, oh crap, I haven't reviewed any of them. January was an odd month in terms of reviewing things. One minute I'm like, woo, I'm just, knocking stuff out, and then 5 seconds later I'm like, oh shit, I've forgotten 5 videos to record. Whoopsie. Hopefully I'll be a little bit more together this month. Now this film I'm about to review was the first Flicks with Chicks event selected film for 2020, and it was the January film. Sadly, there was not, nor is there going to be, a February film. I had hoped it would have been Birds of Prey, even though I didn't like that movie. I had hoped that would have been selected, but they weren't doing a Flicks with Chicks event for February. Instead, they were doing a Valentine's event where the film was in fact Birds of Prey. Good choice. I do actually approve of that. But I'm like, oh damn, I don't get to go Flicks with Chicks in February. But I was so happy that Flicks with Chicks began in January this year. The last 2 years it started in February. So yay, do a January one. So this was the film that they picked, and I'm mad at it. But how about we make a little bit of an arrangement? If you like this video, or you like me, or you want to check out other videos, then by the end of this one, if you're feeling, positive towards me, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. Entirely up to you. I do not force these things. Just an option. Just throwing it out there for consideration. If you like the video, you could throw it a thumbs up. If you don't like the audio, or you don't like the video quality, or something of that nature, or you think I'm offensive, you can hit the thumbs down. Again, your choices. You are welcome to them. They are all there. They are all there below the screen for your pleasure, so please take advantage of them. But enough of that. Time for the review. Like a Boss is a 2020 American comedy film directed by Miguel Arteta with a screenplay by Sam Pittman and Adam Cole Kelly from a story by Pittman, Cole Kelly, and Danielle Sanchez-Witzel. The plot follows two friends who attempt to take control back of their cosmetic company from an industry titan. As I mentioned, this was the first Flicks with the Chicks movie at my cinema for 2020, and I felt we were off to a good start. I've only disliked one Flicks with the Chicks selected film in the 2 years I've been attending. This is the 3rd year. And that film was I Feel Pretty. Aside from that, I either have an average to a blast of a time. I don't hang out with women. I don't usually get along with them either. So being in this crowd of women and us all laughing hysterically at the same stuff is honestly a really uplifting experience and makes me appreciate these events all the more. Films are more enjoyable when you're in a crowd of people also enjoying them, and that was the case with this movie. I was laughing, all the other women were laughing, and we were having fun. We're all sharing glances and giving each other looks as to say, yeah, I found that really funny too. I heard all the negative reviews and I honestly didn't care. If you're a regular subscriber, then you know me. I judge shit for myself, and I'm so glad I'm that kind of person because I had a lot of fun with this film. Now, I'm not saying it's the best film on the planet. It isn't, and it has flaws, but the film was meant to entertain me, and entertain me it did. I think we have an interesting set of characters. Tiffany Haddish and Rose Byrne I felt worked really well off each other. They both bring something different to the table, and I felt they balanced each other out. I liked their characters' relationship and chemistry. They felt like sisters. You don't always agree and you want to smack each other sometimes, but at the end of the day you jump out of a window for them. They were fun, and I liked their story of two friends who have been together forever, been through so many hardships together, and have built a business together. I also enjoyed the different dynamics with their other friends. There are so many single women who have married friends who just love to hound them about when they're getting married and having kids, and sometimes that's couples with kids saying that to couples without kids. And if I socialized and people were doing that crap to me, I'd be getting high too. So I thought that was realistic, but was amped up a bit for comedic value, which I enjoyed. Salma Hayek was a lot of fun in this film. She certainly looked like she was having fun. It was pretty cool seeing how willing she was to get into character. They gave her a wig, content contacts and flippers, which if you don't know what flippers are, that's what people like to call fake teeth, specifically ones that are used in like the entertainment industry. I think her character is a fun, diabolical, villainous tycoon who makes sense in the context of the story. She's the schoolyard bitch who never grew out of that persona. I loved how Hayek performed her. She put her all into it, but I think the character was written as just too over the top, to the point at times was becoming a caricature instead of a real person. I would have liked her to be a little more Devil Wears Prada and less of what she was. I still liked her, but it did get to a point where it was becoming too much and the shtick was getting old, unfortunately. Honestly, Billy Porter stole the show for me. He doesn't have too many scenes, but when he does, it's hard not to give him your undivided attention. The man knows how to steal a scene. He nails his lines to the fullest and is always larger than life, which is always entertaining. His witness my moment scene was without a doubt one of my favorites of the entire film. I had another favorite scene that didn't include him, but I saw this a month ago, so I can't quite remember what it was. I won't say that means the scene was forgettable, because it wasn't. It's just that was a very traumatic night for me, so a lot of that evening is a blur. I'm lucky I could compile anything for a review, but nevertheless, Billy Porter was the best character. Jennifer Coolidge, who I absolutely love, I did not enjoy in this film. The lines written for her character were so ill-timed and poorly placed. They just gave her character really bad comedic dialogue that's dropped in sporadically, and considering how hilarious Coolidge is and how she can deliver a line, it shows how poorly her dialogue was written. If not even she could spin it into gold. I would have liked to see higher energy in her character, because she felt at a lower energy to every other character, and so when she was around, it was as though she was bringing down the energy of the room, which was super disappointing. Coolidge is better than this, but she was dealt a bad hand. Despite some negatives in it not being a perfect film, I really did have a lot of fun with it, and I loved who they cast to play Shay, Claire's former business partner, at the end of the film. I absolutely loved that casting, and it really allowed the film to end on a high. I love that there is so much diversity in our casting. I love that the most powerful and wealthiest character in the film is a Latina instead of your typical white woman. I love how we have Haddish playing a strong black woman who is the ideas woman when it comes to products. She is the creative mind of the duo, and I think that was a nice touch. Then we have Byrne, who is the numbers and marketing woman. She's the one who occasionally adds some creative ideas or whatnot, but ultimately she tends more to the finances and how to sell the products. Together they work well. Claire Luna is someone who has built herself from the ground up, but done so by stepping all over other people, which sounds like your average business person to me. The only thing I hated about this film was the sexist makeup douchebags. I get they were meant to be funny, but I hated their characters, I hated their shtick, and I didn't like them being included because it hurts Claire's character. Yes, she's a bitch and not supposed to be liked, but she's meant to be a smart businesswoman, and a smart businesswoman working in the cosmetic industry should know that selling makeup through sexism is a fast way to kill your product and your brand. Also ignoring the fact that men these days are just as likely to purchase your products as women meant that by hiring these douchebags, she'd be missing out on majority of her market base, and so hiring them would be a huge financial mistake. So I get why it's written and how it's meant to be funny, but it goes against the character's intelligence and is just annoying, so I don't feel it should have been included. Overall, some hiccups along the way, but I like the story, I like most of the characters, and I thought it had good pacing, and it made me laugh quite a few times. So all in all, I had a lot of fun with this movie and would probably watch it again in the future. As I said, flicks with the chicks for the most part, like, they nail it for me. Like, a lot of the films that they select, a lot of them are either rom-coms or female-centered comedies. Sometimes, occasionally a drama, which is not quite my thing, but a lot of the films that they select are not films that, of my own volition, I would actually go out and watch and go like, yeah, that's the one I want to pay money to see. But with these events, I'm kind of being forced out of my comfort zone, but in a comfort setting, and being introduced to films that I otherwise would not have given the time of day to. And I end up walking away going, wow, that was awesome. Or at the very least, I go, it was okay. Like I said, I've only walked away hating something once, and that was I Feel Pretty. I nearly walked out of the cinema. That's how pissed off that movie made me. I nearly walked out, and I don't do that. That's like the only time I've ever really wanted to walk out of a cinema before. It was crazy. Aside from that, I love these events. If you are in Australia, whether you are male or female, these events are with Village Cinema. Hoyt Cinema does a similar event. They call it something else. I think it's Girls Night In or Girls Night Out or something like that. But Hoyt's has their own event, and they, as far as I can tell, pick the exact same movies. So if you, it's possible Event Cinema does it too. I'm not entirely sure because I don't know much about Event Cinema. But if you are in Australia and you are with Village or Hoyt, you should definitely go and check out these events. Village Cinema is my cinema. It's the one that's closest to me, so obviously that's the one I go to, and I can choose to see these events in V Premium or Gold Class. I've become a snob and I now go and see all of them in Gold Class unless I really can't afford it, but because I love the atmosphere, and I also love all the food that I get in Gold Class and the champagne. I like starting off my movies with some champagne. It just makes you feel like you're really in for a special experience, and it just somehow makes all the movies all the better. Maybe it's the booze. Maybe it's the booze and foods that makes the movies better. I don't know, but I have a great time. And just so you know, this is not sponsored. If Village Cinema does want to sponsor me, I'm down for that because I give y'all so much money. But yeah, if you're Australian and you do any of that, I highly recommend checking out a Flicks with Chicks event. I'm hoping the next one will be in March. So you'll find out then. Also, I love the gift bags. Like $100 worth of products. Hell yes! But that's all I'm gonna say for today. I hope you like this video. If you have seen this film, comment down below. Let me know what you thought about it. I know a lot of people didn't like it, so I'm expecting a lot of comments from people saying, oh, I didn't like this movie, but that's okay. You go ahead and you say that. I welcome it. As always, thank you to my awesome patrons. Oh my god, I just want to hug you all. You're so lovely. But I've obviously lost the plot. So that is it for today's video, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye!